Hey everyone. So in this video, we will be creating the task and task runs to better understand Tekton. And this video is in continuation with the Tekton playlist that we are covering. So basically, this repo is getting used to play around with all the things in terms of Tekton, and all the required links are present in the video description. So I have already cloned this particular repo on my machine. So if I go into this directory, yeah. So we will be following this particular task and task runs YAML files today. So these three YAML files are there and one shell script covering all the commands that we need to run. So let's start with the basic hello task.yaml file. So in Tekton, we can create the task in this particular syntax format, and even you can refer to the official documentation to better understand. So just like any other Kubernetes object, so we are specifying a kind as a task, and then like certain labels that you want, and these annotations specific to the Tekton, like what will the display name and description over the UI Tekton dashboard, the name of the task, and again the basic description. And in parameters, we can specify like what certain parameters are required to execute a task. So here we have provided two parameters, name and the language. So we have provided the default values as well. So let's say if we create a task run referring to this task and we don't pass any parameter, then still this task is complete because certain default parameter values are there already. And then the result, like actually what result it will be providing, it will be printing. So that is covered. And under the steps part, like what exact steps this task will be running. So in this particular task, there are two steps. So first step is greet, and it is using this particular Docker container image, like base image, and certain environment variables are passed here, like what is the greeting name. So it is coming from the parameters dot name, like from this parameter, it is picking up the value of this particular field name. And then the second environment variable is lang underscore choice, which is like language choice, and it is also picking the value of this particular environment variable from this parameter. The default value is English, unless we pass something else. And the script part, like basically in this step, what exactly is happening is by this particular script. So this script is nothing, is just checking what is the language choice value, like what value have we have passed. If someone passes Spanish, then it will print this message, and in French, it will print this message. Or if we pass any other language choice apart from these two, then it will print in the plain English. And after that, so it will be writing the greet message. So like whatever the end result is. And then the second task is like basically showing Tekton facts. Like this task is just to show on the basis of logs and description that each and every task for a specific task, like let's say we are having this task and we are having two steps in it. So all these two steps will be running inside a single pod only. So that's why it is covered. So here in this shell script of the second step is this particular step will be executed after the greet step. The pod hostname will remain same. The date will be there. And the Tekton injects the metadata via download API. So all these things run inside the same pod. And inside the same pod, all these steps will be having their separate container. So yeah. All right. And the task run for this YAML file is this one basically, uh, the task run object, the name of the task run, and certain labels which can be added as per the requirement. And even if we don't add any label, then still it is fine. And in the spec section, we are referring to the task hello world and the parameters. So here we are passing the values. So yeah. And in the commands, the shell script, I have provided the same thing, like how we can follow this particular repo. And even if there is some doubt around it and all, then I have already shared the reference guide as well. So since we are following the task and task runs, we can go to this section, and all these YAML files are there, which are already present in the Git repo, hello task and task run, and the another task that we will discuss. So I think we can start with the hello task.yml. So I'm already inside my repository and I will go to the task and task runs. And here is the YAML files. So I will apply this particular hello task.yml first. So it is created, and like we can list that task with this command tk and task list. So this task was created, and we can describe it as well with this command tk and describe task and the task name. So as we can see, these are the parameters and all. These are 2 steps. So we get a description around the task with this command. And then we can create the task run for it. If I show you the YAML again, so this is the task run referring to the same task. We can apply it. After applying it, we can check the logs for it, but let's list the task first. tk and task run list. Okay, and we can run this command. So tk and task run logs and the task run name with -f, which means we are just following it. So right now it is not showing anything because uh, the pod is coming up. If you see, it is in the initialization state, and if I describe it, so it pulled the image and till it is initializing it. So let's keep monitoring the logs. Okay, so if you see, it printed this message, hello complex engineer, because the parameters were in English out of the box. So if I show you the YAML, so if you see, the parameters were there. And this is the second step, which is completed. So this is the pod name, and if you see, there will be a single pod only, and there are 2 containers because there were 2 tasks. Okay, and then we can describe that particular task run as well to get further details. So in this description, as you can see, the name of the task run, the namespace in which it was running, the task revision, the labels, annotations, and it was started a minute ago, and it completed in 36 seconds only, the parameters, the results. So all those things are there. And definitely you can check the pod. So only single pod was there, and you can describe that pod as well. And let's say if you want to start this task again, so you don't need to create the task run again and again. If you want to start the task manually, so we can run this command. So in this command, we are instructing it to manually start that existing task with these parameters. So this time we are passing the language parameter value is Spanish. So if I run tkn task list, so the task is there, and I can run this command. So yeah, so that particular task is starting. So if you see, this time it printed it in the Spanish, and yeah. And if I check also get pod, so yeah, another pod is there, this one. Okay, and now moving to the another YAML file, the build info task. So let's get back to the same repository and let's open this YAML file, build info task.yml. So basically, in this YAML file, complex steps are there for sure. So again, the syntax remains same, kind is task, name, and those labels and everything. So in the spec section, we have passed certain parameters. So 3 parameters are there: the image name, the git revision, the registry, and it providing the 3 results now: the image URL, build timestamp, image tag, and the step template section is very important in particular task. So basically, let's say if you are designing a task and inside it you can say 5 to 10 steps are included, and those steps are requiring certain environment variables with the same values. So you can create this section, step template, and these 3 environment variables are defined here. So all these 3 environment variables will be automatically inherited by whatever steps are there. And if you see, all these environment variables are getting their values from the specific parameters. So for these parameters, we have given certain default values. For the registry, the default value is there. For git revision, default value is there. And for the image name, we will provide it the name. And in the steps, so first step is compute tag with a very basic shell script. So we are just providing the tag, the value with this simple uh, Linux command like with the date format, and the git revision value is coming from that parameter, and it's printing the result. Then the compute image URL, again the shell script, where it is fetching the tag from the particular last step. And then the image URL is coming up from the parameter values, which are passed as environment in the step template. And it is printing the result, and similarly the record timestamp. And at the end, in the last step, it is printing all these things, like whatever the results are there. Okay, so first of all, let's apply that particular YAML. So I'm already inside the directory, and this is the build info task, and we can just apply it. We have applied it, and we can list the task. So if you see, build info task is there, and we can describe it as well. Build info. So yeah, the description is there. Total 4 steps are there. 3 results will be there, and we are passing 3 parameters. Okay, and then we can run the task manually. So the image name will be like this, the git revision and the registry. So it's just a dry run, we can say, not actually coming up with the image. So that's just for the understanding. So now if I run this command, so the task is started, and once the pod comes up, it will print the log. So as you can see, for the first step, it computed the image tag based on the time, and then followed by the image name that we passed. The full image URL is this one, like because we passed the registry with the org, and then appended by the image name and the value we got in the first step. So build timestamp and the complete summary. And there will be a pod for that. So as you can see, built info task pod is there. And we can describe the last task run for sure. So if I run Tekton task run list, since we manually run the task with the Tekton, so yeah, task run will be there for sure. This is the one. And we can describe it. So yeah, this is all the description. So yeah, that was it for the task and task run. Thanks a lot, everyone.